to talk about how they said that, actually, can I start over?
Sure.
Alright. Alright. Sorry, I made a mistake. Alright, so they keep claiming that, the law is created to help people and it's safe. However, the reason the law was passed in the first place was because at the time, there was a huge distrust in government. A lot of people were were against the government conspiracy. So that was one reason for the law being passed by Dennis Bonil from LA Times. And Nancy Vogel from the LA Times, from a different piece, also wrote that Fred Berlin believes that this is an emotional topic, and you can't put public policy can't be based on emotion, because it should be based on evidence, not like our emotional feelings about like the safety of the children, because it does not provide safety of the children because it is still being reoffenses. Also reclaiming that the law is too extreme, because people who commit the crime, they have the need, they could have the crime follow them for like 30, 40 years for such a minute crime, like we both stated earlier. And they claim that the costs are ineffective, and that the costs are not comparable to how the law is affecting everyone, that the law is more important than how the costs are. However, as in 2007, the costs were as much as $4 million to respond to the law, and there has been no proof of that the law has been effective and that the law has actually led to more reoffenses. And she claimed that the law has helped and there hasn't been a decrease. However, like I said previously, the reason for the decrease in offenses is the change in sentencing, which makes it seem like there has been a decrease in that part. They also claim that psychological treatment will not help. However, like I said earlier, and this is a new claim, that John LaFawn said that statistics show that most sex offenders who aren't likely to repeat their crime. A study revealed that sexual recidivism rates of 17.3% for untreated offenders and 9.9% for treated offenders. This test was done by Carl Hansen, and this just shows that people who were taken into psychological help it has shown that it has made a difference. And over the past 10 years, they have found that these psychologists have made advances in identifying what is causing these offenders, and it's a psychological treatment by Karen Cresting, who wrote Monitor Staff. My partner also makes the claim that they need to go back to a normal life, and there's been instances where that these people have not had a normal life, like this guy named Dudale by Maria Laganga. He was stabbed to death at the age of 67 over 35 years after his crime, because by his neighbor, who claimed that any father in my position with moral home family and family values wouldn't have done anything different because his son was molested. However, just because his neighbor was a registered sex offender, Oliver killed his neighbor just because he was registered and his son was molested. It's no excuse. By Susan Proto, she also claimed that offenders have a really risk to unsafety, like a father and son broken and assaulted and assumed offender in his own home. It just proves that this has led to an unneeded abuse, and these people are not being able to go back to their normal lives. They also claim that the law has been effective. However, many states have passed this federal law because there has been a thing by the government that if you do not pass a law, there will be a 10% decrease in crime control funds. So most states will pass the law and won't give most funds to law because they have to do it and they want to, because of the 10% decrease in funds. And the fact of knowing where sex offenders live will not stop them. It's actually the opposite, like I said previously, and my partner did, that it'll cause them to commit more crimes. And like my partner said earlier, the people who commit murders or crimes that are considered worse than sex offenders you don't have their information online. I mean, you don't, when you live somewhere, you can't just go online and say, oh, he killed 10 people. No, you know that, oh, someone raped someone, but you don't, I mean, I'd personally rather know that someone killed someone in my neighborhood than sex offenders. Parents would rather have their children out of the streets for someone who's murdered, not someone who has committed a sex crime. And this all proves that this law has been cost inefficient, that the law hasn't been effective, it's too extreme, it has caused a false sense of safety, and there's still chances of reoffense, and they're getting harmed.